Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Check out therundownlive.com. Mike P, Kriston H. The Rundown, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Check out therundownlive.com.
Download the Rundown Live application out now. iPhone, Android. Rundown Live application out now. Search the Rundown Live on Google Play Store and iTunes.
From the makers of Block It Pocket, we bring you a serious message about the health risks associated with cell phones and wireless devices. Studies have shown that long-term exposure can contribute to an assortment of health risks. Block It Pocket offers you 2 new products designed to help alleviate your concerns. See these 2 remarkable products at blockitpocket.com. Call 888-315-9618. Free shipping to the lower 48. Blockitpocket.com. Enhancing health and privacy.
What up, guys? We're live here. It is Friday, the 13th, September 13th, that is. We're live on The Rundown. Mike Pachesney, Kriston Harris, therundownlive.com. What's up, guys? Kriston is not there. Apparently, he has left the show and is no longer with us, so we will just move on without him. We are good to be here, so let's just get right into it. We don't need Kriston to tell you that we are sponsored by Private Internet Access and onit.com. Go ahead, Kriston. Let's just get right into it.
Hey,
man.
How's it going?
What's up, man? We you left us in the intro. That's all right though. I just was letting people know about
I
our
had this
sponsors.
disaster. You know, like when you bump into something and you spill coffee on yourself. That's pretty much like what just happened to me. I just got an inch of water on the ground.
Nice. That is terrible. Well, do you feel comfortable letting people know who our sponsors are?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let me tell you this about our sponsors. Yeah, we have privateinternetaccess.com. Remember, privacy is freedom. You can get privateinternetaccess.com for as little as $39.95 a year, and that's for 5 computers. And basically go to rundownlive.com and click on the banner, and every little purchase helps us here, and it lets you browse and download or do whatever you want on the internet privately, and it actually runs in the background. You don't even know it, and it doesn't even change anything on your computer. It's just a little like Pac-Man ghost guy that kind of sits there and floats around and makes it. There he is. See him? He's green though. You know, so
it reminds me of the droid guy, actually.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah, sure. And let's not forget about Block It Pocket. By the way, they sent us a bunch of cool stuff. We're gonna have a competition here.
Wait, you're not on the screen. Let's show those. Hold on 1 second here. We got to get.
They sent us. No, absolutely. They sent us a bunch of cool stuff that we're going to be giving away. You know, I might grab one for myself, but joking.
So, yeah, we definitely got some
blockers, and we have some
nice.
Great giveaways. Yeah, hey, even stuff for the ladies if you got a little pirate in you. Well,
so we got to figure out a way we can share
contest.
a couple of these. Maybe if people want to call in, we might be able to give a few.
We gotta do. You know, we always say we're like morning talk radio. Maybe we should have a morning talk radio type contest. Bring up a topic or have some kind of cool kind of contest that we run.
Right, because those are like $30-something, aren't they? I mean,
they're normally like almost 40, and we got a bunch of them to give away, and we want to make sure that we can get them in the hands of some people who want to try them or want.
Well, yeah,
one.
and they definitely need to download our app and something like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
There has to be I don't know. That's
on the
you.
screen. I'm like half of my head is off.
I got apparently I'm not on the screen either. But anyway,
I'm joking.
Don't forget onit.com as well. Check out
Take
the
brain
quiz, and then
the app
just
store.
help us out, guys. We also have the apps online and Bitcoin tip jar. But anyway, we do have a guest today. Mark Howitt's going to be on the show of March of Freedom. So basically this guy like walked across Canada, spreading awareness and things of that nature. Also part of worldpublicunion.org is his website.
Cool. Hey, let's not forget your article too.
Oh, the McCain article.
Yeah, it was a really
did.
big article.
I already forgot about it.
The John McCain admits that the CIA is flying plane after plane full of weapons into Syria. I mean, it's not like we didn't know that, but thanks for confirming our thoughts.
Yeah,
So,
and the very
CNN.
last statement is what solidified it for me when he's like, it's the very last thing he goes on to say, like, I believe Pierce rephrases it and he says, well, it's not true. And those aren't the type of weapons, or those aren't good enough weapons anyway. Something like that. I'd have to look at the article to what he said.
Basically, he was trying to cover up for McCain because they play for the same team. They're both on the globalist payroll, and Pierce totally caught McCain spilling the beans on accident. He's getting old, and not saying that he intentionally did, but when you're old, I'm sure that things don't work as well as they used to, especially what you're planning to say, and you end up just flowing with the moment, and then you run out the truth, and whoops, there it is, out and open. And we already knew this, but now on CNN, on national television. Thank you, John McCain.
Right, and that's why I included the Lord of War scene.
Well, now we know we're undoubtedly funding Al Qaeda, which we knew already.
Make sure that people understood that that's pretty realistic that things like that do take place now, where arms dealers do work for the American government and the president, and then they basically get off the hook for selling arms. But anyway, we better bring Mark on because
bring the jogger on.
We're already digressing fully here. Let me put Mark in here.
But yeah, it's incredible. These Blocket Pockets are pretty cool, so we got to think of something cool. So if you guys out there have any good ideas, put them in the chat or send us an email.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll think of something. I really don't have any ideas for that at the moment, but we'll think of something good. Hey, Mark. Oh, nice. Hello. What a great start.
Sorry, guys.
Mark. No, that was awesome.
I missed it. What happened?
I was actually gonna zoom in. I missed it.
Hey, yeah, no, I got it, Dana. I just watched the replay. I watched the replay a few seconds after. It was like delayed.
Look, Kristan's like Madden over here. He's like watching the replay and stuff. It's good to have you on, Mark. So pretty much we just gave you a brief introduction. We mentioned the March of Freedom and your website, World Public Union. So I do want to get into the March of Freedom, but before we explain to people what that even was, let's go right into it and kind of let people know who you are and like even what got you even involved. Was there a specific event or issue that even got you motivated to become politically active or aware?
Well, essentially, I got active after learning a bunch of things. I really like studying about history and geography, science, all sorts of things, and eventually I just started coming on to some things that were really quite interesting, like how were the pyramids built, why are we here, what is the meaning of life, all sorts of things I was questioning, and I was on a knowledge quest really, and I met some people that were kind of telling me about other things to look out for, like for instance 9/11 anomalies and stuff like that. A couple good friends of mine were telling me about that kind of stuff. So I started looking into that stuff, and after that, I started making documentary films based on some of the research that I was doing and some of the pieces of the puzzle I was fitting together, throwing out some theories and stuff. So I got involved in that way, and then I became an activist, because after you start learning about this kind of stuff, you tend to want to do something about it instead of just learning about it. So I became an activist and started a group called the World Public Union, which is like an activist database networking website where people can meet up in different parts of the world that are activists that want to kind of promote the same problems and get solutions for the problems. So that's basically how I got involved in everything.
Well, I have a question to ask you. You mentioned pyramids and how the pyramids were built. Question: Did your studies at all lead into Edward Leedskalnin's
Coral Castle? Yeah.
Coral Castle. Yeah, we were talking about
definitely.
anti-magnetic technology and dual polarities, using magnetic currents to make things weightless by reversing their polarity. So he built the whole castle in 3 years or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, and he was doing it in all sorts of crazy ways, and he left all the clues right in symbols and in the way that the shapes of certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, Sweet 16 and the whole math equation.
Yeah, the same patterns you can find in Mason halls too. They're designed with the same kind of symbology, with the same set of numbers and
Isn't
stuff.
it the golden number that is repeated?
It's point 0.00116 something.
Repeating
and it's actually
forever. Yeah.
and it's also our rate of growth, and like everything works on this wavelength. Everything in the whole unit world. So it's pretty interesting. There's something very special about that number, and it might have to do also, with a lot of other things that we didn't know existed, possibly like alternate dimensions and weird stuff like that. But that's going way down the. But it's pretty interesting.
It is true though.
That would mean Isaac Newton would be wrong, though, would it not?
Oh yeah, if that were to be true, yeah.
It is true. I mean, how else does one guy make a castle in 3 years? He figured it out. He even told people that he rediscovered the secrets of the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah, parallel universes is quite interesting. You know what I mean? Where you could exist in multiple dimensions at the same moment in time, doing different things.
Sure. What is it? There's actually a CIA operation. It's called, isn't it Pegasus? Operation Pegasus, I believe, where they dealt with that.
Is that where they're doing like remote viewing studies and stuff like that?
And alternate dimensions type, jumping, trying to, take something and make it disappear and reappear 2 feet away. With machines, kind of like the Fly almost, and it led into other things, obviously, by now, because that was many years later. So it's pretty interesting.
Totally.
So I had to ask. I'm sorry.
No, why not?
You
brought up
the
golden rule. You see that all the time. Just for people that don't know, like in expensive cars, like Rolls Royces and a lot of architecture, the golden number is repeated in all these things. It's very Masonic. And there is definitely something behind it. That's for sure.
The secret of the universe. That's 7129 divided by 6105195. And
that was too much for me right there.
Well, yeah, but that basically
see
that's the equation.
I don't know about that really, but I do know.
But that equals the sweet 16. That's what gives you that result. So
the crazy number, the infinite number, almost. It is. I wouldn't say infinite, but. It's pretty close, That's there's certain numbers too that are fundamental in nature, like the Fibonacci sequence. You got 1, 2, 3, 5, etc. It's pretty amazing how all things in nature are formed in patterns, the mathematical patterns, and these patterns are the same throughout all things in nature. Really, everything is comprised of these numbers. So
it was like we were made out of the same clay, almost, huh?
What's that?
It was like we were all made out of the same piece of clay.
Yeah, totally. I think we are, for sure. I think we're all connected. Everything is connected as one kind of working unit, essentially. We all require essentially support from other people and other things in nature, all together balanced. And when you start screwing around with the balance, that's when you get problems like what we're having now on the planet,
Yeah, let's speak on that a little bit. I was going to say they're
disrupting the mathematical patterns. Really.
Right, they're holding us back.
I put the patterns in the chat box, by the way. So if anyone is online or listening to us on Rundown Live/live, rundown.com/live, you can actually see I posted the equations that deal specifically with Edward Leedskalnin's equations, which is essentially what we're talking about.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, check out Coral Castle.
Yeah, it's a huge conspiracy, man. One guy, it was a 15-ton obelisk. He moved himself by making gravity fields around him. You know what else is weird is I've been reading up that he had diseases and health problems related to people who have gone through like magnetic field type tests and things like that. People are saying, yeah, that's very common for somebody who would go through that kind of bodies would go through that stress. And he always talked about the world isn't ready for this technology, and he doesn't think it is ready. And in his whole book, The Sweet 16, he keeps going, is the world ready for you, my Sweet 16? And he was. Yeah. He believed in all that. He must have been, I wonder what, he had to belong to, you would think the guy was never married or anything. He must have belonged to some kind of club, maybe the
society,
Masons or something,
right,
like some kind of society. Because there's no way, no one knows where this guy came up with it.
I looked in to see if Ed was a Mason, and I couldn't find any evidence to support
just
that
European
claim.
Background and weird missing voyage where he was, obviously he figured something out, or he found something, or bought a book somewhere along his travels where he would it just made sense to him. But think how brilliant this is. What, back how many years? The 30s?
I can't remember exactly. Wasn't it in the 50s or something?
Maybe it was in the 50s. I'll try to Google.
I'm definitely no expert, so I definitely don't know. I have heard though, so I mean it's definitely interesting.
But it's an interesting topic because it defies everything we've ever been taught. You know, and
right.
And it was he died in 51, so it had to been the 30s. So
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to digress too far. I mean, that is interesting stuff, but
sorry about that.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean, that's the kind
cool
of
to talk about.
right,
that, yeah.
right. I mean, what other radio shows are they? I mean, other than Coast to Coast, are they going to talk to this?
Well, I also have to point out real quick before you change the topic that the Egyptians claim they built all their pyramids in 20 years, and if Edward Leedskalnin can build Coral Castle in 3 and people witnessed it, that he was the only person that did it. That's pretty amazing to start with, you know. So it's all there. It's all in his books, and he's written a lot of books on magnetism. I'd recommend it. Also, he wrote a book saying that everyone should write a book in their life, and I agree with that as well. Everyone out there should write a book sometime in their life.
Yeah, for sure. Magnetism is an amazing concept too itself because we could even have cars that are run off magnetism. And,
they got whole train lines. Train lines.
And that would be free energy, but the oil companies, the petrol companies won't profit from it, so they won't bring that into play. That's why we've known about this for so many years, and they've suppressed that technology. They buy up the patents and then store all the patents away and don't give them to the public. It's insanity. That's an insane group of people there that I'm referring to.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. I want to bring it back to basically the March of Freedom. We were getting into you just started explaining it, and then we went on like the sidetrack there. So you're talking about the pyramids and other things. So tell us a little bit about the march, the process. I mean, there had to have been some great stories, some great things that happened along the way. Anything that you want to share? Kind of give us a synopsis of the general event.
All right. Well, essentially, I just got fed up with what I was seeing on the news all the time and what was happening in my own life financially, and just the way the system operates, the way people are treated by the system, by rules and restrictions put in by government and corporations. And as you know, I was making documentaries for quite some time about this stuff, jumping into the rabbit hole and trying to get as much information and to try to come up with solutions for the problems, you know what I mean, to try to figure it out. And I just got fed up and decided to leave and do a march where I was traveling across Eastern Canada and talking to as many people as I can along the way, just about issues that are going on, spreading awareness any way I could, and also just essentially just trying to survive while I'm going and figure out how I'm getting places and stuff. Because after a while, my feet took some pretty bad injuries. I walked quite far though. Like I walked from Sudbury to North Bay. And then I had to rest. I got 2 injuries along that way because I'm not an athlete.
Approximately how far is that for people that don't really know the distance,
Well, the show is going to show everything, you know what I mean? It's for a reality show as well. I decided to document the experience to show people how I was face-to-face with people telling me real problems that are existent in the world. And also trying to go to the sources of these problems to ask them for answers and try to talk to people about that. And what I mean by that is I went right to Stephen Harper's house to deliver a letter to him. I knew I couldn't get on the property or anything like that, but I was also at Parliament Hill for 2 days in Ottawa, where I was trying to talk to people around there, but it was mostly tourists around there. But I did talk to the RCMP and a few people that were there, a couple of activists that were on the Hill. I talked to them, which was really good. So I did go to a bunch of Mason halls as well. I was knocking on the doors, trying to get a Mason to the door so I could ask him about the occult and ask them, if that's what they're studying and just if they had anything to say to the camera. No one answered except one in Oshawa, actually. There's a guy that came out with a girl, and they were walking up, and they said that they were the janitors. So I didn't really believe him. He was kind of a shady guy. But I had the camera rolling and stuff, and I tried to sneak a peek inside just to show people what's inside lodge and stuff, because they don't allow cameras in there, and they're very secretive about what they're doing and stuff. So I was just trying to get a reality insight of the lodge for the reality show, because I'm just trying to show people that this is our reality. And in every community I was visiting, it was always the same patterns. Some of the cities were older than others, obviously, like in Halifax and Quebec City. It was built in the 1600s from the war. Those were war communities built from war and domination that was happening here, the colonization in Canada. So I was documenting all the monuments and all of the Masonic buildings and ancient, well, not ancient, but really the historical monuments and sites along the way in each community. And the patterns were that the first buildings that were built in every community, no matter how big or how small, were the churches, the banks, and the town centers. And obviously the Mason halls were soon after that. So that goes to show how each community was built from the ground up.
How many miles did you actually go across? How many kilometers? How many?
Well, I didn't really count. Like, I'm gonna make a map actually because I just
take a guess. Take a guess. Would you know?
I would. When I calculated it from home, it was 1,900 kilometers total, and that
how many
was
days
going down. It took me a month and a half to get all the way across.
Okay, I don't really care about anything you just talked about. What was your playlist like? Did you have to get like the iPod all the way full of music before you went out on this, or what?
I didn't listen to any music at all.
Really? I was joking, by the way. I really cared about everything you said, but I mean, seriously, you had no playlist, no music, no nothing?
No, nothing. Just my own thoughts and trying to process, why I was doing this, all the people I was talking to, and I was really trying to focus on the problems and find solutions for the problems.
Right.
Which I think I was pretty effective in doing.
That
awesome.
takes some determination. Yeah, I don't know. I've driven across the country and I couldn't do it without music. So I mean,
no music.
But that's understandable for what you were doing. I mean, it's almost cleansing in a way. Did
you sing to yourself?
Actually,
I did come up with a couple jingles in my head.
Did you really? I knew it. When you run out of things to do, you get creative.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. One was about getting older on the highway.
That doesn't mean you're crazy. That doesn't mean you're crazy.
No, exactly. It was good though. It was refreshing to actually to just have no influence, no static from anything. Just pure nature. Myself with nature. Walking down the highways in the middle of the night, like 3, 4 in the morning, even earlier than that, like around midnight, 1 o'clock. All there is just cars driving by every once in a while, and then they start slowing down as the night progresses. And there's no street lights.
You see anything weird? You see anything weird? No Sasquatches or like UFOs? No. I'm joking. But like, did you have any weird experiences?
Not so weird, I guess. There were some people that I met that were kind of, off balance, I guess you could say.
They probably thought you were off balance, man.
But actually, it was a very, very interesting journey, actually. Like, it totally showed me a lot about humanity and people in general.
Well, I was going to ask
believe it or not.
Well, go ahead.
That?
Well, I was just going to ask.
Believe it or not.
Oh, we got a delay. No, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, sorry if there's a delay. But yeah, basically what I found was that people are actually aware of what's going on, and they're concerned, and they're actually nice people. A lot of people think that everyone out there is out to get each other, and there's that everyone's dark and criminal-minded and just selfish people and stuff like that. But no, I didn't find that at all. Everywhere I traveled, everywhere I went, the people that I talked to were very nice. They were easy to get along with. As long as you showed them respect, they were respectful back. And that was really interesting.
Where were you sleeping?
I slept in all sorts of places. Like, I brought a tent along with me for when I was outdoors and just on the highway and had no place to go that night. I slept in a hotel a couple times, like 2 times. Once was paid for by a community because I was injured there. And when I got out of the hospital, I had no place to sleep to rest my feet. So they paid for a hotel for me for the one night. So that was good. But most of the major
you went all Cub Scout on the whole thing? You just
no. Tough. I did sleep at a lot of friends' places too, like along the way, because I'm a musician and I've toured all over Canada and the United States.
Yeah, what kind of music? What kind of music?
I play black metal, hip hop, all sorts of things. I'm a very varied musician. I write all sorts
diverse. Awesome. I like that. I'm a metal guy myself.
From out there.
Metal and hip hop.
Musicians, yeah.
They go good together. Not Limp Bizkit. You got to have like I did like vocals, and I always thought like when I was doing vocals, it reminded me of rapping. And when I told people that, they laughed at me. And I was like, dude, it is the same.
Some POD, like POD.
Well, not even. Beautiful. More screaming, like raw, like
like your mom when you're young, she tell you clearly when she be like, yeah,
exactly that.
No.
Yes, that exactly. That's what I did, and it was much like rapping.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I didn't know about your music, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, I ran a record label I ran a record label for about 15 years, a booking agency and a record label. So I've set bands up. I brought fans over from Europe, put them on tour in the United States and Canada. That's what I was doing for a while. And actually on the reality show, like right before I left, I filmed this and everything. I called the government and I canceled my business because paying taxes and the music industry, nobody's buying CDs anymore. So it's really hard to actually operate a record label.
You know what's really crazy is I owned a record label for about 10 years called Snapdragon Records. I put out albums and I did 7 years on Vans Warped Tour. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Like 3 or 4 years ago, everyone just started torrenting. And, I saw an album I put out get 20,000 downloads. And it's like, I can't even break even. We got videos on TV and stuff, but, it doesn't help if everyone's downloading them for free. So that's crazy.
I invested a lot of money and I lost a lot of money doing it. And I just couldn't do it anymore financially. I couldn't keep investing.
Were you in Milwaukee?
What's that?
Did you ever make it to Milwaukee?
Yeah, we played the Rave actually before.
The Rave, awesome.
Nice, that's awesome. Who did you guys play with at the Rave?
We were the headliner actually when we played there.
Well, what's the name of the band? I could have been there, man.
We were called Wolven Ancestry. We're actually, as far as I know, we're not a band anymore. Like, we're on hiatus. I don't know if it's indefinite or not.
We know how that goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you being booked through the agency group or any of those,
Yeah, I've worked with the agency group, bringing bands here for them.
Sure. Ellis Industries, all those people. William Morris, AGP, sure.
Yeah, I've booked a lot of shows for a lot of bands here.
That's so cool, man. That's so awesome, man, that you did that.
Yeah, I do want to continue doing the music kind of thing, because that's what I've always been interested. You know what I mean? But it's hard when there's so much going on and you're raising a family at home and you're trying to pay the bills and get by and stuff. It's really hard these days to actually do music as an occupation or as
Career,
a full-time job or anything. Right? So.
How was your Milwaukee experience? What did you think about the Rave? Because, a lot of people get mixed emotions.
Did you get any pizza shuttle? Because that's the best thing about Milwaukee's pizza shuttle. I'm joking. Well,
no, actually. But we did drink a lot of beer, and we did...
well, that's Milwaukee,
too. It was a cool venue. The Rave was really cool. We played in an upstairs bar area, because I know it's sectioned off, and there's different...
I worked there for 3 years. I worked there for 3 years as an independent talent advisor and promoter, actually, for Joe Ballestry at the Rave. What year did you play there? I might have even worked there and been there when you were playing.
It was like 2008, I think.
Oh, no, I only worked there until 2005, 2004.
No, that's awesome, though. I mean,
the place is haunted, by the way.
Yeah, Milwaukee was pretty cool. Actually, we were at the venue in the parking lot just outside our van and stuff. We were actually having a couple drinks in the trailer or something like that. And across the road, there was a variety store. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about.
Right. It's a little corner store right across the street, right?
Yeah, well, there was this girl over there, and her son was with her. And she bent over and took a crap on the wall right on the side of the variety store. And we were watching.
That's the Rave for you.
It was quite funny, actually.
The Rave, man, it's just so great because, we always ask the guests, like, if they've been to Milwaukee. And finally, Mark here has been and played at one of the greatest venues in Milwaukee, the Rave.
The Brewers.
Yeah, it's just a...
Is that a Brewers card?
I think it was. Kristan's trying to sell his cards on eBay now.
No, that was from yesterday. Or talk about when you were kids and you traded for a Paul Mullet or rookie card.
Nice.
What do you want?
I know. I was cleaning out my closet today. I was like, "Whoa, I still have it."
That's like your prized possession. Don't lie.
Yeah, it's worth like $12.
He's trying to show it. He's trying to show it like show and tell. But anyway,
yeah, right. I couldn't even get an ounce of silver for
I can't believe you saw a lady crap on the wall. I've seen a lot of crazy things at the Rave. I've been there so many times, seen so many bands there. That's just cool that you've played there. I actually played there. I'm sure Kristan played there.
Well, I played there many times.
Yeah, that's awesome that we all have that. We all played on stage at the Rave at one various time. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah,
I thought that.
Cool.
That is pretty awesome.
I played punk rock music though. I also toured as a musician on and off for about 6-7 years and did punk rock. Milwaukee.
What is with Mark? What do you think the connection to music and just awareness is? I mean, because it seems
it's got to be vibrations. I think the whole world is governed by vibrations, pretty much. It's all. It is
it's
all.
It's 0.00116.
Yeah,
that
it's something, you know.
again?
It's there, you know. So and music is essentially that. It instills emotion in you. You know what I mean? It could be varied emotion. It could be dark, happy, soothing, uppity. It's all different kinds of musical taste. So that's why I think music is in interest of people. But when you're playing it and you're writing it, it's a way of self-expression. You know what I mean? And I think activism is also self-expression. When you're actually getting out there and doing something, there's a lot of creative ways that you can be active in your community and stuff, and that people do become active. So it's really cool to see that. So I think that there is a big connection in music and with musicians. I've seen it actually. A lot of the people that I know that are pretty hardcore activists and stuff, they are musicians as well. So it's funny that you point that out, because it makes a sense, you know. It makes sense.
We see it, I mean, all the time. We have people on the show, and then, you know, they're either a musician, a rapper, but, you know, their lyrics or their songs are becoming more and more aware, in a sense. They're not talking about, you know, objective things and things that don't matter, love stories. They're talking about, like, truth and things. Well, no, I shouldn't say love isn't a good, but you know what I mean. More awareness.
It's more a positive message.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
It's a lot of,
instead
you know,
of superficial,
it's very uplifting music. You know, even look at all the religious bands that would have never been on the radio, like POD and things like that. You're seeing a lot more positive. They just like the positive
POD
message.
hasn't been on the radio in 20 years, Kristan.
20 years? They weren't even around 20 years ago. In fact, they just came out the record like 2 years ago.
Oh, jeez.
How about Chevelle? There's another one.
Chevelle is a good. I like Chevelle. I've seen them multiple times. Too. Interesting band.
And Collective Soul, and we cannot forget Under Oath and Zao and
we can name
Living
bands
Sacrifice.
Name bands for hours.
There's a lot of good positive messaged bands out there, is what I'm saying. And MXPX, and you can.
We don't need to keep naming bands, Kristan.
Listen, Jake.
So anyway, let's get back to Mark here.
Effects.
We were telling the story about how someone crapped on the wall at the rave.
Yeah.
And pretty much let's just shift gears off the rave and talk about World Public Union. What kind of got you motivated in starting? Well, I guess because you said you wanted to have that arena where people could share ideas and stuff. But you know what?
Yeah, totally.
Talk about World Public Union.
Well, after you find out about the problems and stuff, and you see all these people that have tried so hard to make changes, you know, by protesting or, you know, doing campaigns or running websites, doing radio shows to spread awareness and stuff. After seeing all these people going at like great lengths to try to spread awareness and make a difference in the world, I realized that a lot of these groups are essentially attacked or suppressed by mainstream media sources. Like their websites won't show up in search engines, and videos are suppressed, or you get trolls and shills on your videos filling it full of dislikes so that people don't really watch the material. And they comment on your videos, and there's all sorts of ways that they try to get people to not look at this kind of information and stuff. So the World Public Union was essentially an idea I came up with to start activism and to start a group in as many communities as possible. So me and a few friends, after I came up with the idea and we were developing it and stuff, I had a couple roommates, Dave Richardson and Barbara Govro, sorry. They helped me actually develop a massive Facebook networking with a lot of different cities around the world. There was different unions started up around the world just to give it a kickstart, and when people would get in touch, we could like set up administrators and set up people and connect people in that community. So we started about 50 or so to start right off the bat, and a lot of them were from requests that people sent us. So we were able to set them up as administrators so they could post and self-administrate. That's the whole goal of and the purpose of the World Public Union essentially, is to start a group in the community that is essentially self-sustainable. So it doesn't really need the bigger group or the collective, all of it. It's more of a local thing where there's people that know each other in town and they're working together and they're posting links to protests or good websites, local news, world news, petitions, anything that's really worth checking out. that kind of picks up the momentum of the activism in the area, and also acts as a way, like a hub for people to meet and communicate. And the thing is, we're not connected to any government structure or anything like that. We receive no funding from any source whatsoever. Really, it's self-funded. If there's a local group started, it's the group itself that puts their own money into it. If they need to do like fundraisers for events or anything like that, it's really self-sustainable. Really, that's the whole idea of it. That it's a group of leaderless leaders, really. So there is no leader. We're all our own leaders. So that's the way it should be. That's really the way I think that change is really gonna take effect, is when people do take control of their lives rather than just letting something else control it and guide them along the way, and they're restricted. They feel like they're restricted in a box. This is kind of a way for them to feel empowered and get involved in their community while meeting others that are also wanting to do something about it, you know? So that's the whole purpose of the World Public Union, really.
No, yeah, that was a really good explanation, man. I wanted to make a few points, but I wanted to let you finish. I think a lot of people are afraid of the word union, and I don't think you need to be. I view the word union as alliance, you know, because I like how your grassroots, you know, what it reminded me of also of is like, say, like the Free State Project. You're just providing a platform. Say even they could come on to World Public Union
Absolutely.
And use it. So that's kind of what I was getting at.
Too.
Right,
The Venus
exactly.
Project. Venus Project, if they came on board with World Public Union and Free World Charter came on board and all these groups, that's the whole purpose of the World Public Union, really, is to connect all these groups. And we provide links too. There's a section on worldpublicunion.org. It's called Allies. And if you click on that, it's got a bunch of links to all different kinds of topics and stuff like that, for news, for people, for organizations, for all different kinds of things. And it's all categorized in links. So you could go right to their pages, and those are kind of the groups that we support, you know. We want the information to get out there. We want it to be easy for people to connect to this information so that they can know where to find other groups and other people that are supporting the same ideas. And because the activist movement really needs to grow, and it is happening. Me doing the March of Freedom and walking and traveling all over Eastern Canada, I really did see people awakened, and that's a great thing, because I remember, like, even a few years ago, people weren't on that same vibration level. They were more in a lower frequency. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, really. Not really a lower frequency, but a higher frequency, I think. And I think people now are starting to become more balanced. They're starting to really see what's going on and knowing that something's wrong, and they're just wanting to make a change, you know. A lot of people are being affected by the way their governments are running their communities. If you're on social assistance now, or you're on disability because you've been injured at work or crippled or something like that, a lot of these people are suffering because they're cutting back on, in all sorts of places, they're cutting back on the government funding for those kind of things in communities that people need to get by and live off of. Because a lot of people that are on social assistance in Canada anyways, they're not getting a lot of money, and the cost of living keeps rising. It's increasing all the time, and people aren't making enough money to survive, and that's what they want to happen. They want to be struggling, just barely getting across that line. You know?
And even you guys are affected by the United States dollar, especially with the Federal Reserve and inflation, because inflation of our dollar definitely cannot help you guys out, because the world uses our dollar as a world reserve currency. So if Canada wants to buy anything, they always have to possess American dollars to purchase it around the world. And so if our dollar is debased and nobody wants it, or let's say we go to war even in Syria and we piss everyone off, who's to say they're not all going to dump our dollar and no longer use it, just use gold? Why do you think China's stocking up on gold, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, aren't China and Russia, aren't they trading oil for gold now or something?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, they got,
without using the American dollar, and that's completely, you know, avoiding it. That's the beginning of the
they
end
were
for the American
very
dollar.
public about that too. I want to say real quick that the phone line is open, 414-455-4333. If you guys have any questions for Mark, Kristan, myself, any topic, March of Freedom, anything, I'm sure Mark is happy to answer.
Even hair rock.
Yeah, or
we'll talk music.
Yeah,
we
music,
don't mind.
whatever.
Today,
Exactly.
you know, why not? It's Friday.
But I lost my train of thought. I had another point I was going to bring up, but I forgot it. So anyway.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, it happens. I I completely lost my damn train of thought.
So
guys.
Yeah, one thing about the March of Freedom, one thing too is it was like a lot of people think that I walked the whole way, but the thing is on the 400 highway and the 401 in Southern Ontario, which connects a lot of the major cities down in Southern Ontario, it's illegal to walk on those highways. I was told by the OPP directly that you can't walk on those highways because it's extremely dangerous. Like a lot of the cars are going by so fast. It's like 4 lanes on each side. There's cement walls in between the roads, so you can't even get around if you did get trapped there. There's no way to get off the side of the shoulder of the road. And in some areas, it's even really small, the shoulder. It's so small that, and I was carrying a cart behind me, which was like a bicycle trailer, essentially. So it had wheels and it had a nice solid frame to it anyways. And I was carrying that behind me pretty much the whole way when I was walking. So a lot of the highways, even the highway between Moncton and Halifax, there was some spots there where it was impossible to walk on. So I actually had to take buses through some areas. And also there was speaking arrangements, like public speaking arrangements set up for me in Kitchener, Oshawa. I was going to be on Ottawa and Parliament Hill, which I announced before I got there. So there was all these dates set up that I had to be in certain areas for those days. So I did have to get rides around those areas. So a lot of people might think that I walked the whole way, but it was essentially I walked as far as I could to get to Barrie, which was where the 400 started. But I took the long route essentially. I went from Sudbury to North Bay, and then North Bay down to Barrie, which is a bit longer than going right from my town of Sudbury right down to Barrie. So I took that route, and because there's more communities along that way, and I ended up just north of Huntsville, actually. I ended up getting pretty badly injured on my feet. Like my feet were totally destroyed, and I couldn't walk anymore. If I kept walking on my feet, it would have been pretty damaging.
Would you say that was your boots that did that, or just the overall?
Well, yeah. My feet were pretty much screwed from the start because I wasn't prepared for this or anything. I just I knew that I was gonna I knew that I wanted to do something like this one day. It wasn't a developed idea for a while, and then really just like a couple months really before I left, I really planned things out, and the idea to do the reality show came up only then. So that was just something I was thinking, and I didn't tell anybody I was going to leave either. I wasn't making announcements or posting it anywhere. I didn't tell anybody except 2 friends of mine and my wife, and that's it. Those are the only people I told, and that's it.
When
was
you started
kind of
your jog,
for people. What's that?
When you started your jog, you had no beard, right? You had it all shaved, and
No,
now
he
that's
was
why you
not-
have like
No,
he's got like a foot long beard. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
How long did it take you to grow that?
Getting there for sure.
he put mine to shame. That's
But yeah,
for sure.
those injuries were pretty bad. And actually, my friends from Sudbury here, I had a homecoming when I came back a couple days after I returned. A bunch of my friends met up with me at a local bar here, and we had some drinks, and I shared my stories and got one last video for the show of the homecoming event. And a couple of my friends made this shirt which says, "Because some steps in life are harder to take than others." And this picture here is my foot. That's a foot from when I went to the hospital. In
For the
Huntsville.
love of God, dude, that's like
Yeah,
some
that
SLC
looks
punk
a lot
stuff there,
worse.
dude. That's like that looks
It's
pretty.
blue
That's
veins
like gangrene, bro.
sticking out there.
Wow.
Blue veins
Do
sticking
you,
out
do you
from
still
my
have a
heel.
foot? Do you have a real foot, man? Do you still have?
Yeah, they're healed
that
up
thing?
now. I can walk around fine. I'm glad I had and that's another thing too. Like some communities I stopped in, I had to rest at a friend's place that I knew there or something, just to let my feet heal up for a couple days before I could keep walking again. And I was pretty much screwed from the start because, like I said, I wasn't prepared, and I didn't buy really good athlete runners or hiker boots or anything.
Good
I just left
socks
with
and
the
all
shoes I
that.
had.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Because when you said you got
And they were
injured,
very
I was
airlocked.
not expecting that.
I didn't think your foot would look like.
Right.
like
That
yours
is
had,
terrible.
It looks like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's pretty brutal, and it hurt.
I keep
it hurt
thinking
pretty
of.
bad, Like just
I keep
walking
thinking
around
back to what is that, Little Nicky?
Yeah,
Where
I've
he,
seen that.
where he doesn't feel his foot and he keeps pounding on the foot.
Yeah, it didn't. This happened actually because I got soaked. Like I was trying to stay out of the rain all day, making it under bridges for shelter along the highway, and the rain just kept coming down and coming down. So I kept trying to take shelter under bridges, but I just knew I had to keep moving to get through different communities. And I could have set up a tent, but the thing is, I didn't have enough tarps to cover it all, and the tent wasn't waterproof because, like I said, I wasn't prepared when I left. I had $75, I think. I was
What did you eat?
$76.
That's what I was going to ask you next. What did you eat?
Well, the first couple of days I didn't eat anything except berries off the side of the road and, and other things. Like
what kind of berries are we talking? Are we talking raspberries or blueberries or like those berries that birds don't even eat?
Local blueberries. They grow wild up in Sudbury all over the place, and even in just north of Huntsville there was raspberries. I found raspberry bushes. I was eating raspberries off the highway, so I did find some fruits along the highway. But I basically just brought trail mix and packs of Mr. Noodles, just anything that was lightweight to pack in the backpack, so that I did have some food as I was going along. So that's the main thing. And then when I get to a friend's house,
did anyone offer to help you? Did anyone offer to give you money or donate or, you know?
Yeah, there was a donations tab. So on the website that I posted like right before I left, the morning that the day before I left, I think I posted that link. And when I left, people did donate some money, which was really cool. I actually wrote down all their names, and I'm going to thank everybody on the show that helped me accomplish this goal, because I couldn't have done it without these people. I guarantee you. There was times when I only had like $2 to my name, and people would like donate money, and that would help me out to get to the next spot. That would help me get a bus, you know, when I was injured, to another city, so I can keep networking with people and just try to make my goal, which was to make
you brought your acoustic guitar along so you could vagabond it, right? You were sitting out there, you know, playing songs and making money. No, see, that's what you needed to do. You needed a plan. You needed to bring that guitar.
I didn't panhandle. I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for anything, really.
I was joking, but you know, I thought maybe you might have.
A couple times, but that's it. I never asked for anything. Everything was pure donations from the good heart of people, you know, and that was really awesome, because a lot of people did help me out, and that's what I mean. Like, a lot of people do care about what people are doing, and they will lend a hand if you need it. People just think that everyone's out to get each other, because that's the way the media portrays human beings, and music, even some music portrays people as being that way. And it's kind of like, that's what the agenda is, really, to get people to be against each other, to cause divisions as much as they can, just to split the mind up into a million portions, and then program those spots and keep you separated from unity, from the oneness, from the existence of everything, from being connected with that existence, you know. I think that's what their goal is just to separate the mind.
Separatism, right, yeah. No, I completely agree. Just because, you know, you don't agree with someone doesn't mean we're not, you know, the same generally. We don't have to agree on everything. People have different beliefs. That's fine. That doesn't mean you don't have to accept them as like a human being or something like that. And I do believe that we're all connected. That's my personal belief. Whether it's mentally, spiritually, I don't know if that I can prove any of that, but I definitely believe we all influence each other. And I think that's
all on the
evidence.
Same planet.
Well, right. We're all one from above. You know what I mean? If anybody ever visits from above, we are viewed as one. So that's pretty evident as well. But I wanted to mention what it can be seen so far from the march. Is anything out, or is everything out? What's the deal?
I only posted a couple videos on my Facebook page, which there's 4, I think, that I posted, and they're just short clips from some of the episodes. I didn't even start editing it. I didn't have time when I was on the road. That was my plan, was to edit it while I was on the road and then post episodes along the way. But I was gone for, I think, just over 6 weeks, and I didn't have time to do that. I was really like trying to figure out how I was getting certain places, where I was going to stay. A lot of times I didn't even sleep because I didn't know anybody in the community, and I didn't want to just leave my card out, because that's free game for anybody to just take everything that I had. And essentially, I brought a laptop along with me, but I tried not to let anybody know about that, because all the files were being stored on there. I had my iPhone, which I was using. With the reason why I didn't have music too is because I cleared all the data off it, and I kept it free and open so that I could have as much storage as possible for videos, for daily videos. And then I was using the laptop to charge the iPhone as well when I didn't have a power source when I was on the highway. So I was trying to like think of ways just to keep sustaining the show and get as much video as possible. You know what I mean? And that's why I was doing that, and I had the laptop. But if somebody stole the card or something, or somebody stole my backpack while I was in a city or something, that would have been it. You know, everything that I had would have been gone. That I documented from the show. So when I was on tour, on the journey, actually, there was I got a couple donations when I was in Hamilton, I think, and I went out and got an external hard drive just so I could store all the video files on an external source, so that if something did happen to the laptop or anything, I'd always have the videos backed up. And that was what kept a permanent security, I guess. It was security for the video, so that I could keep the show going. Because if I did that for nothing, it would have been a pretty bad blow to the show. You know, it wouldn't have been able to happen. So
when can we expect to see some of the clips from the march? Do you think?
Well, the day before I left, the same video program which I've always used to make the documentaries that I made, which is Windows Movie Maker, suddenly the day before I left decides to crap out on me. And essentially the video, when it would convert the video, it was half black. The top half of the screen was blacked out, and then the bottom half was showing of the whole video.
So
just a bunch of legs running around. The whole video is just the bottom half of you running around town talking to people.
So, yeah.
You see all legs.
So, yeah, I made the announcement video where I was explaining to people what I was doing, and I posted that on the YouTube. But it took me a while to do that because I had to install Sony Vegas, which is a much more technical program.
Yeah, that's what we use. Correct.
Yeah, so I'm only just learning how to use Vegas now. I was messing around with it while I was on the journey a little bit when I had time, just to try to learn some of the things from it. But essentially, I've spent the last few days here as much as spare time as I have trying to learn the program, because that's a pretty technical program compared to what I was using before. So I'm going to be making it with Vegas this time, and because that's the only one that works now. I don't know why that video program.
So it'll be a little bit, but it's coming. I want to ask. We got a couple questions in the chat that I want to get off real quick. How did he keep things charged, and how did you do eating off nature better or worse?
Well, I couldn't fully survive off that. You know what I mean? I did it for a couple times. Like I think two days I was eating just that. But other than that, I did have trail mix and stuff like that in my backpack, which helped me. But I essentially didn't eat a lot while I was gone, while I was doing
You lose a lot of weight?
Yeah, I did actually. I lost I wouldn't say a significant amount, but I definitely gained a lot of muscle mass too in my legs and my arms from pulling the cart and my shoulders.
Right, that was the other question. Somebody asked, how heavy was all the gear?
Oh, the backpack was super heavy. Like when I first left here, it didn't weigh as much as it did after I left, I guess, Sturgeon Falls. It weighed a lot more in Sturgeon Falls from there to North Bay. So that was pretty hard when I was only carrying the backpack. But when I got to North Bay, I looked on Kijiji and I found that bicycle cart, the bicycle trailer, for $40 used.
Nice.
And I was like, this is a score, you know what I mean? I could store all my stuff in there, and I could even get the stuff that I need that I wasn't able to bring in the first place. So a couple friends met me in North Bay, and they brought me some supplies, like a sleeping bag. I didn't leave with a sleeping bag. I didn't leave with a sweater or a hooded sweater or anything like that. I didn't leave with a jacket. I didn't leave with a lot of food at all.
You are in Canada, right?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Northern Ontario, so.
Yeah, our weather's bad enough, and we're in
cold.
Wisconsin, right? I mean, you're further north than us, so I mean, the weather changes are so random up here.
Were there any dangers? Any police encounters? Any animals?
Well,
no grizzly bears?
Lots of police encounters.
We really don't have much time left, so I want to make sure you give out your YouTube and your websites, anywhere people can find you, Mark.
Yeah, if you just type my name in YouTube, Mark Howitt, Howitt, you'll find my profile on there. If you want to subscribe to me on there, I'll be posting videos periodically on that page for people to check out from the March of Freedom. Right now, I posted the one, the clip from when I went to Stephen Harper's house, and I dealt with an RCMP who met me at the gate there. He wouldn't accept the letter, though. I wrote a letter on Parliament Hill to all the leaders of the world, and this was essentially all the problems that I was hearing from people along the way. I summed them all up and I wrote a letter addressed to the leaders of the world to kind of address all these problems in one shot that I was hearing, as many as I could remember anyways while I was there writing it, and as many as I knew myself, I knew enough about to write about. So I did that, and the letter turned out pretty good, I think. It definitely addresses a lot of problems and also offers some solutions as to like why we're not transitioning to this kind of society. Like it just totally makes sense to like transition to this new way of living where we're living off free energy and you're not profiting off everybody for financial gain, and people aren't suffering around the world from starvation, and there's no divisions and stuff when we're working together for each other rather than for a profit motive. And that's essentially what I was trying to explain in the letter. And I went to go deliver that to Stephen Harper, and he wasn't home. Actually, I found out a couple days before I went to his house that he wasn't home. He was doing essentially the same thing that I was doing, is traveling across Canada, talking to people about their concerns in different communities, which I found pretty funny because I was already gone before he
maybe he bumped into you and you didn't realize it, and he was telling you his concerns, huh?
No, I doubt that. He was on a private jet eating steaks and stuff, man. I'm sure he had it nice.
Oh yeah. He's flying on planes and spending Canadian dollars on $100 meals and massages.
Drinking wine,
and you name it.
exactly. You know that. But hey, Mark, we could talk a whole nother hour. We could get into more stories and stuff. I really appreciate you coming on. Anytime you want to come back, make sure people check out World Public Union. What's the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel is Mark Howitt, Mark and then Howitt, just my name on there. And I have an account that's named Mark Howitt. If you subscribe on there, you'll get announcements for all the videos that I'm posting. And it is a reality show, so there's going to be a bunch of episodes and a whole season of episodes. So that's pretty good. I'm learning how to use it, and I'm actually working on like a teaser right now with clips from it that I'm going to put out. Just for people to get a little glimpse on some of the things that happened. So I'm working on that, and I'll keep posting things every couple of days from the March of Freedom, like some of the interviews I did and that are sent to me and stuff like that. So I'll definitely keep posting things on the YouTube channel.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate it, and
awesome,
we'll definitely
very cool, man.
Share your stuff. We'll share the videos when they start coming out. If you would, we're more than happy to work together, and if you want to come back on, just let us know, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
anytime.
man.
And thank you guys for having me on. It was awesome talking with you guys.
No
about,
problem.
Milwaukee and music and New
right.
World Order.
We could, like I said, we could talk a whole nother
have to have you
hour
on
about
again.
other stuff, right?
Very
Exactly.
cool
We
stuff,
could
yeah.
we spent 30 minutes talking about the pyramids.
Yeah.
We went a different way. And it was cool. For
It's
once to not
unplanned,
talk about
it's
the-
live radio.
yeah.
That's reality. That is real. I mean, we have real conversations, and that's why we had Mark here. And again, Mark, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks guys, for sure.
Take it easy, man.
No
Truth
problem.
Broadcast, right on.
Peace.
Hey, thanks. Have a good one, man. Hey, somebody needs to sponsor him, either Nike or
Harry, Hardcore Harry's got to sponsor him for that plug. Jeez.
Yeah.
We always plug Truth Broadcast because that's our home, truthbroadcastnetwork.com.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Maybe we don't plug them enough sometimes.
Yeah, we got it. We'll show a little. We always plug Harry though. We'll show the.
We
love.
always show the graphics. But yeah, somebody buy that guy a pair of shoes for the love of God. You see what I mean, man?
Oh man,
Okay,
I'm so glad
man.
it's Friday, guys. You guys that are listening, we appreciate you so much. Whether you're listening on TuneIn, thank you so much for downloading our apps, checking out our sponsors, Private Internet Access, Onit.com.
Spreading the word.
Block It Pocket is going to be huge. I mean, they showed us the numbers, and it's just getting insane. Do you still have the Block It Pockets? Let's put those on screen real quick. We have a whole bunch of Block It Pockets to give away. We're going to figure out something to do this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned on Monday. We're going to be giving away tons and tons of Block It Pockets.
Rookie card in a Block It
Yeah,
Pocket.
he's
and
gonna hide the Paul
Milwaukee
Molitor.
win.
I mean, it's like we got great things going on, so we appreciate it, guys. We're
Paul
out.
Molitor card ties into yesterday's episode if you haven't listened to it.
We're out, man.
Ties
We'll be
into
back
doing
Monday.
Trade, remember trade.
Isn't Wi-Fi great? You can browse the web anywhere. Coffee shops, airports, libraries. But using public Wi-Fi means that people can spy on you, and it's as easy as, yep, they can access your data at the touch of a button. Seriously, even your internet service provider can see every website you ever go to. Private internet access has got your back. How? Well, it's kind of nerdy, but to put it simply, spies and companies that track you don't like us one bit. We create an encrypted tunnel so that nobody can spy on you. We also provide IP cloaking, which frees you from geographic restrictions when you're traveling. Register today and disappear online, the way it was supposed to be.